Today we are going to do the belt balance. Okay. Tools that are needed for our belt balance is our pencil, our rule, tri-square, tenon saw, chisel and a mallet. First we must mark out our project, the belt balance. We take our pencil and our tri-square. We mark our face side and our face edge, like all projects. With the stock firm against our piece on the face edge, we come in 5 or 10 millimeters from the edge. We bring this line around our piece using our face side and face edge as the stock for our tri-square at all times. Once we have this completed, we indicate the waist with X's. For the next stage, we refer to our drawing. We can see our drawing has an overall of 100 millimeters. We have 40, 65 and 65. To do this, we take our steel rule. We measure the top of our belt balance over 40 millimeters and make a mark. We see another measurement, 65. We use our steel rule and we can make another mark. Lastly, we see a measurement at 65. We must go 100 millimeters first and then come back. We measure 100 millimeters and then, as stated before, we come back 65. We now have 4 points required for our belt balance. As seen in our diagram, we can come up square from our 65 with our tri-square, lightly. We can see from this point to the end of our belt balance is a straight line. Therefore, we transfer the straight line from this point over lightly. We now have another point on our belt balance. We join our 45 millimeters back to this point with our rule. We have one more measurement to make from our point at 65 to our other point at 65. Marking out the face of our belt balance is complete. We transfer these lines across the top and bottom and we repeat the process of marking out. With our belt balance marked out, it is now time to sew. For sewing the belt balance, we need our bench hook. Bench hook is placed in the vise and firmly fastened. For our stance for holding our saw, shoulder width apart with our legs, bend our knees slightly. Saw in your hand. The correct grip for our tenon saw is 3 fingers in and 1 out to point the direction of the saw. We place our belt balance against the stock, firmly holding it with our hand. To start, we use our thumb and our nail and we pull back on the saw. This will take 3 or 4 goes to get in. Once we have got in a little bit, we can begin to push forward. At this stage, we can remove our hand away from the blade and hold tightly. Try to use all the teeth in the saw for best practice. the waste piece cut off, it is now to cut this line. Position it in our bench hook, and we use our hand again to hold it firmly. The grip stays the same on our saw, and we move over slightly. We use our finger to get in, pulling back a couple of times. Once we are in, we can firmly hold the piece, and again using all the teeth. At this point of the project, we're cutting this line. This is known as a vertical line. We remove the bench hook and place it in the vise. In order to ensure we are cutting a straight vertical line, we will use our tri-square against our vise to line up this line. As you can see, this is not correct. We loosen slightly until we get it right. Tighten at last and remove. Grip stays the same with our saw. Again, we use our thumb to get in. Once we are in, our thumb can stay holding the piece. Stop when you meet the other line. For the next step, we remove our piece and we turn it around. We place it back into the vise so you can see the line. At this stage, we take our chisel and our mallet. We position the piece steady in the vise. We hold our chisel and we begin to remove, taking care at the end. Finally, pairing the last bit without the mallet, using our hands. Our belt balance is complete. The belt balance is now complete. Check to see